Yeah, we got one weekend of preseason games to go in the NFL before the season starts in a couple of weeks. Massive roster cutdowns come, and we got controversy. Kansas City is not Kansas City right now, and their star defensive tackle, Chris Jones, is not there and says he's not going to be there. Chris Jones has a year to go on his contract. He wants a pay upgrade that would take him to about $25 million, which would put him number 2 on the pay list behind Aaron Donald of the Rams. And now he says, I'm not coming in. And he can sit out. This is odd. Even though he's got a year to go on his contract, he can sit out 8 games in a dispute. Now he's going to lose 8 paychecks. He's going to lose $7.5 million if he sits out 8 games. He has to be there the 9th game. Otherwise, the contract tolls into next season. He would still owe him another year at the old price. But he says, I'm not coming in. And he's been fined $50,000 a day since camp opened at the end of July. But when you're making 15 mil, I guess it doesn't matter. But see, he's not coming, and Kansas City doesn't have a solution to that. Indianapolis, they've reached the end of the road with Jonathan Taylor. He's had a masterful 4 years with the Colts, 4,800 all-purpose yards. He's not in camp, asked to be traded. They gave his agent permission to work a deal with another club. Tuesday is the deadline for, if you got a deal, you better show up and tell us what it is. But they're asking for a number 1 pick for Jonathan Taylor. Who wants to take on his contract? Then you have to take on the reality. He's a walk free agent at the end of the season. And what's it going to cost me to keep him? And then you have the intangibles. He's coming off ankle surgery, and before that, a back injury. But yeah, he's still a hell of a player. 6.1 yards per carry, 4,800 all-purpose yards, does everything. Indy's going to trade him. They're not going to release him, but they will trade him if they get the price. If not, he's got to play, because if he doesn't play, that contract tolls into next season. He still owes him a year. Tampa, this story is just broken. Baker Mayfield, who's won the starting quarterback job for the Bucs, former Cleveland potential star, went to Carolina, washed out. Tampa Bay in a rebuild situation, sues his father. His father runs a big investment firm in Cleveland. Sues his father for $12 million missing money that Baker Mayfield gave his father to invest. Wants to know the accounting. Where is the investment? Family has not given him that. He's filed suit against his father. So won't you be glad when the season starts you won't have to deal with Chris Jones, John Taylor, or Baker Mayfield's father? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I get it that the players, they want to negotiate. Their only leverage is to not show up, but they're leaving all that money on the table. I mean, it just seems to me the right answer is take the money because you've got the contract and then negotiate when the contract's over. I mean, because you're putting yourself in a bad spot here unless he thinks the team is going to cave, and I imagine they won't.
I think the big issue, though, John, if you're playing on a 1-year contract and you get hurt in week 3 of the season, and now you have no leverage when you become a free agent. That's why the stars, that's why Chris Jones, that's why Jonathan Taylor, before they step back on the field because of the, quote, injury factor in the league, of the opinion, pay me a multi-year deal. Give me my signing bonus. Everybody else is getting it. Now, these guys are all asking money from another solar system. It's not just a pay bump. It's taking Chris Jones from $15 million to $25 million, just like that. And Jonathan Taylor wants to go from $4 million to $10 million. Have they outplayed their contract? Yes, they have. Have they been unbelievably productive? Surely. But do you take them to the top of the stratosphere to get them into camp and play? And then how does that impact your cap and all the other guys? Because you got to deal with 53 guys and a salary cap that is inflexible. So I guess I understand it. But geez, giving up, if Chris Jones does not come in, give up $7.5 million of your salary and then play half a season and walk at the end of the year, or get franchise tag at the end of the year and repeat this thing again. Tough call.
Tough call, and going to Baker Mayfield, I'm rooting for him to have success in Tampa. He's a character.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of, upside when he was drafted, a lot of hope, and it didn't work out. Maybe he can take the Bucs down to have some success. But the funny thing about it is like suing your father, which is weird, but it's also these investments, because a lot of times these players, they hook up with these investment advisors and they come up with these harebrained schemes to put the money. If they just take the money conservatively and like put it in an index fund, they'd be safe. They'd be fine for the rest of their lives. But they take these silly risks and then the money's gone. So I'll bet you that's what happened with Mayfield.
The weird part is it's his father that did it.
Yeah.
It's not some stranger that he hired that maybe he should not have gotten involved in. It was a family member. Hey, we get to halftime.